before we really start, I would like to ask you a question. Who knows what is software craftsmanship? Who knows what is software craftsmanship? Raise your hand. Who knows what is software craftsmanship? No one? So you know, right? So what is software craftsmanship? What do you think? What is that? Sorry? Okay, no ideas, right? Oh, that was an easy one. Basically, software craftsmanship is about being professional. So how to be a professional software developer? Not more than that. Simple and easy. So now, since you understand what software craftsmanship is, we can immediately go beyond software craftsmanship and discuss more advanced topics, right? Because software craftsmanship is kind of obvious. TDD, all this technical stuff. And I really believe that in order to succeed professionally, you should know much more than technical stuff. And I'm going to share something very important with you today, something that I have learned the hard way, really. Something that no one taught me in school. So the life kicked my butt a lot. And now I managed to aggregate some ideas and some lessons that I have learned, and I want to make your journey much more smoother than mine was. And this is a story about Jonah and his road towards remarkable career. Are you ready? Yeah, let's go. So meet Jonah. Jonah is a software developer, Java developer. He has 5 years of experience under his belt. He works at a company called, not the EPAM, but PPAM, let's call it PPAM, some fictional company. And he works full-time, he has decent salary, he has decent technical skills, and he prays software craftsmanship God. He basically believes that software development should be done right? That's most of us do, right? So we think that we should care about clean code, maybe some TDD, some craftsmanship, because we think that that's important, right? Jonah thinks that craftsmanship is important too. Jonah has a boss, Milton. So Milton works at the same company with Jonah. He's a project manager. He's a senior guy, very senior guy, and he reports directly to top management. He haven't ever wrote a line of code. He doesn't know what a software development is, but he has opinion on software craftsmanship. He thinks that it's a waste of time because it doesn't really contribute to a value. Why do we do this clean code and testing, whatever, right? So produce value, produce feature, hey, right? And in fact, Jonah hates Milton. Jonah hates Milton because every year, Jonah goes to Milton and begs him for a salary rise. He said, Milton, I'm actually the best guy in the team. I do all the software development right. I clean the mess that my team produce. I clean everything that these guys in my team are producing, and I'm kind of the best guy in the team. So I really deserve high salary. And every year, he gets the same response back. Milton says, well, Jonah, you're a good boy, really. You're a good boy. You're doing things right. I understand. You're an extremely good software developer. Your technical skills are so advanced. But there is one tiny problem. We don't have budget this year. Have you ever heard this? We don't have a budget. That's very famous, right? We don't have a budget. That's nice. Sounds very familiar. Okay, we don't have a budget, but take a corporate mobile phone instead, right? So that's what they say. So feeling extremely sad and undervalued, wow, something's wrong. Here it is. Here's this guy. So feeling extremely sad and undervalued, Jonah goes to his mentor, Lawrence. And Lawrence is a retired Kotlin software architect. He has about 10 years of Kotlin experience under his belt, right? So he knows how to do it right. And Jonah says, Lawrence, life sucks. Life sucks. I'm the best guy in the team. I know all this technical stuff, but for some reason, for every year, I can't really get a salary rise. Is something wrong with me? I think that's a company to blame, right? That's a company to blame because, well, these guys don't care about this software technical stuff, and I know how to do it right. And Lawrence goes, but what did you tell your customer or your managers or Milton to get this salary rise? What are you saying your management to get this rise? Well, that's very easy. What I say them, I say, I know TDD, BDD, DDD, how to refactor govna code on a daily basis. I know a plenty of great frameworks like Spock, Spark, as well as machine learning and unikernels. And here is the poker face. Say, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Well, this is something that I know, right? I'm a technically advanced guy, senior guy. Well, Johnny, but do you really use all the stuff that you have mentioned to bring customer value? Because from management perspective, all the things that you know, all the stuff, but if these things doesn't directly contribute to customer value, that's a waste. No, I don't use it to bring customer value. I just use some of these practices, but mostly I don't. Why don't you use this stuff? Because Milton doesn't let me. My manager doesn't let me to do this stuff. So Lawrence goes, okay, Johnny, but what Milton suggests you to use instead? Well, he says that I have to use HHDD. HHDD, what the fuck is HHDD? Well, it's a very popular methodology we use in our company. It's called Huyak-driven development, right? So, of course, that's what everyone is doing in our company. And that's what Milton suggests me to do. Woo! You can take a picture of it. This is HHDD. HHDD. Writing code that nobody else can read, right? Nice. Poker face again. So here's a poker face. Well, HHDD sounds nice, but you know, Johnny, I think that you're talking bullshit now, because there's one important thing that you don't understand. The good thing about engineering practices and discipline is that they're completely personal. They're completely personal, and actually you decide whether to apply them or not. Because if you use, I don't know, whatever, TDD, and it makes you bring customer value faster, you make more robust software, you move faster, you have more confidence, just do it. So you don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to care about others in your team, essentially. Basically, if they don't use these practices, go ahead and you do, because you probably think that this is important and it contributes to business value. Because if you think that there is something important that can delight your customers, go ahead and use it, obviously, right? And here I want to give an example. Imagine you have an injury, and you have to take a surgery. And you go to a surgeon. This is a cliche example, surgeon and craftsmanship, right? So you go to a surgeon, and you tell surgeon, you know, Mr. Surgeon, please make a surgery by using this particular knife and this particular tools. This is a nonsense, right? This is nonsense. You never do this because well, even if you work in the healthcare industry, even if you're a manager of surgeons, well, you still can't say what tools and practices to use. You know why? You know why? Because you're not a surgeon, right? That's the only reason. You're not a surgeon. So if you are not a surgeon, how can you tell surgeons which things and tools to apply? And I found a fantastic picture online that I usually slap people's faces with this fantastic picture. And I love this. To avoid injury, don't tell me how to do my job. Don't tell me how to do my job, because that's my job. That's my craft. And I know how to do things right to delight my customer, right? In fact, the bottom line is that you don't need anyone's permission to be professional. You don't need to ask anyone. Should I behave professionally? Just behave. Because actually people are paying you money and they expect you to know what to do. That's why you pay surgeons, right? Because they know how to do it right. And I want to tell you one story. I once been in the project in the United Kingdom. Actually, it was about a year ago. And I joined a fantastic, shitty project full of troubles. And they have hired me to solve all the organizational problems they have. I'm usually very skeptical when people hire someone external to solve all the organizational problem, but I said, yes, okay, I'll give it a try. So I joined the company, and I realized that there's a team who delivers software and product, and the team sits in the room called War Room, the War Room, isolated from the rest of the organization, just firefighting to meet the deadline. So I said, well, okay, guys. I said to managers, okay, guys, I will probably go to this room and work with these guys. I will help them to hit the deadline, and I really want to be part of the team to understand what happens. No, don't go there. That's their trouble. Just give them some suggestions, right? I said, oh, no. I really want to sit down and do pair programming with them and help them to deliver. Okay, go ahead. So I joined the team, I started doing pair programming, and the problem is actually quite common. The amount of bugs that they got after releasing software is usually like huge. So they spend a lot of time on unplanned work and rework. So fixing stuff that they have just delivered. They deliver something, then they fix. They don't have a sustainable development pace. And I said, well, let's start with a discipline first. Let's really do some disciplined delivery. Let's make at least, like if we deliver something, okay, we'll not deliver everything, but things that will get delivered, they will be of high quality and they will not come back. Quite obvious, right? And developers say, yeah, great. But they had engineering manager in the company, and engineering manager was extremely upset. Because imagine, there's an engineering manager, and he sees that the company hires a contractor to work with his team. Obviously, something is wrong, right? Obviously, something is wrong. So he feels that there's a risk of sort of losing job, losing authority, whatever. And one morning, he opens the door like this. Edward, you know, man, you're wasting our time. That's what he told me in front of the team. You're wasting our time. I was shocked. I was extremely angry inside. So I didn't really know how to react. Now, since I didn't want to react, I want to respond somehow to it. So I woke up and said, you know, his name was Andy. Hi, Andy. So, you know, Andy, show me how to do a job better. Show me the better example. You just told me that I'm doing some like a wrong stuff, waste stuff. Show me how to do it better. I said, why should I show you? I said, because you're telling me that I'm doing something wrong. Obviously, I deserve some example, a better example. Team deserves an example. And he was upset. Let's have a private conversation. So we left. Let's have a private conversation. So we left. And I said, hey, no, there's a problem. You're entering the room and saying that I'm wasting the time. So you're actually saying that I'm unprofessional, right? So show me a better example. He said, okay. But how? I said, okay, let's do it this way. So since you are a developer, actually, since you're trying to impact software development, let's do it this way. Let's pick a few items from Trello, development items, sit in the room, and let's deliver some end-to-end feature to production. And let's see like who is sort of faster, and let team judge. Team was so happy. It's a war. Consultant versus engineering manager. It's a war, blood, right? So he said, okay. So in about a week, we prepared the projector. Actually, it was 2 TV screens. So we sat in front of TVs, and we're doing programming. So I was applying all this rigid engineering. I was moving quite slow in the baby steps, writing tests, writing code, writing tests, writing code. Slow. And actually, I expected to lose. So I thought that I will probably lose, but at least I will show something working and clean. So I was actually nervous inside a bit, but I had something to answer anyway. So, and in about 3 hours, I completed the feature. That was tiny business logic change. And I'm looking into his monitor, say, how are you? He stared at me, anger, red eyes, depression, and I'm looking into his ID, and he has like a red code, nothing compile, sort of shotgun refactoring. And he woke up and say, and he waits for some comments and say, you know, and here's the thing. If you can't really prove me that I'm doing something wrong, don't really tell me how to do my job. And this is very important. I believe that you can learn from this lesson a lot because everyone has opinion. Everyone has opinion. And usually opinion is extremely dogmatic. Extremely dogmatic. So you have a great tool in your toolbox. You can challenge back and ask for the proof. Prove me, convince me. And in this case, usually people, they will say, okay, go ahead, do things that you think is important. So be ready to challenge people, but be ready also to be challenged back. This is very important. Be ready to come up with a proof. But what about these things that go against your management's belief? Let's say you know that something or some feature, whatever, some change might really bring your company money. But people don't agree with you. Let's say the product owner, whatever, the management. And I have an answer. Your job is essentially not to delight your boss or a product owner, but again, your job is to delight your customer. And that's a huge difference. Look at this. Here's how most of the organizations work. There are money, a lot of money coming from the outside. Usually these are your customers, actual customers who pay money. There's a top management that gets all the money, and then they decide about the budget, they plan how to spend money, and they usually agree with the IT management about the IT budget. Tiny IT budget for a year. And then this guy decides how much should you get from this IT budget, basically your salary. Does it work in your company like this? Probably it is, almost like this. So, and here's the question. Who is stronger than Milton? Who is stronger than Milton? So basically, okay, top management obviously, but the strongest power is in the hands of customer. It's just the customer. So customer is the ultimate decision power. Customer is a guy or something like a people who say something, and it means that it's right. So even if you don't agree, even if it's not right, it's right, because they pay money, right? What I realized that what we usually do as a technical people, as a developers, whatever, whoever, we usually pump money from the inside. We ask for a salary rise, for some, I don't know, some better conditions, whatever. But what if we slightly change our mindset and start adding money from the outside? What if we start thinking how company makes money? And I believe that we have to really understand how our company is making money. And if you don't understand how your company makes money, it costs you a lot. Every day, it costs you a lot because you don't know how to add this stuff from the outside. And I will show you a few practical examples how can it work. But really, instead of pumping money from the inside, think how to add money from the outside. So first of all, let your customer judge, because we have just agreed that the customer is the ultimate decision power. Ultimate decision power. So they decide what's important and what's not. And the question is, again, if something goes against someone's beliefs, the first thing that you can do, you can make your reasoning public. Make your opinion visible. Make it visible, because usually our conversation stops in some private discussion with management, product owner, whatever. Make your opinion visible and let customer judge. So I have a few examples for you. For example, if you go to a customer, if you have access to a customer, and you say, hey customer, what do you think if we do this, this, and that. Is it really bad that you did it? That's fantastic. Hey, customer, what if you do it this way? Let's say, or, hey, customer, our competitors are doing things this way. What if we? Does make sense? Does make sense. Or another example. Hey, customer, check what I have built. Do you like it? This is fantastic. So I lead software development. I have many software developers working together with my team, with my company, and I urge people to do it this way. I urge people to talk to my customers directly and come up with proposals and ideas. Because that's my team, that's my company's reputation. I want them to go and sell to a central marketplace. And by the way, you are the one, if you are a technical guy, you really know how to build something, how to build stuff. You don't have to expect someone to come up with idea and feed you. Build this, build that, and then you're upset and say, hey, they don't build what I want to be built. Well, have you tried really to build something yourself and showing it? Well, usually we don't. Do you know what is opportunity cost? Do you know what is opportunity cost? Okay, there is something that's called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is an invisible price that your company pays for the ideas or features that they don't have. Right? This is obvious. So basically, if you keep all your ideas in your head, and not sharing all your stuff with the company, with the customers, actually, there's invisible cost that your company pays. So you're hiding ideas inside your head, costing your company money. This is very interesting, something to think about. There's also one important factor. We have to speak customer language, and this is fantastic, because when I started my career as a consultant, I tried to sell my customers high-quality software. I went to a customer and said, hey guys, I really can help your teams to deliver high-quality software. I say, what? Okay, thanks, Edward, bye. And I never received a call back. Right. Thank you, Edward, great, I know you can. Thank you, bye. And I realized that something is wrong with me. It's not that customers don't want high-quality software, but I don't really speak the customer language. So I changed the strategy. When I joined a company, sometimes I ask, hey guys, what are you building? Oh, we build this highly strategically important project, a lot of investments there, very important for our company. And I say, oh, you don't want to fail, right? You don't want to fail. Oh, you don't want to fail. And they start listening. And they start, so there's a curiosity factor. So you say, you don't want to fail. So why can we fail? Well, the problem is that if your guys produce mess, so probably it will decrease the returns of investment, right? Because the lifespan of the software will be shorter. These guys speak our language in numbers. And they ask, what should we do? Well, I can work with your team and improve the quality of your software. Do you hear it? Same stuff, completely different language. So speak customer language. This is the first trick. Another trick is that, why do you think Scrum sells so well? Why Scrum is so popular? Communication, okay. Any other opinions? Flexibility, any other opinion? Fantastic, great. Every opinion is valid. And there's one very important item that I want to add to the basket. Scrum sells extremely well because it's clear how to start. Because it's clear how to start. Here's the product owner, here's the backlog, here's the sprint backlog, here's the planning. Stand up in front of the whiteboard every day, do a retrospective, grooming, whatever, you have Scrum. And of course you need a Scrum Master, right? So basically, it doesn't matter that most companies are doing it wrong. It doesn't matter. The point is, everyone is trying to do Scrum. Most of the companies try to do Scrum because it's clear how to start. If we look at something that's called no estimates, have you heard about this no estimate stuff, like a lot of hype? No estimates, basically. It's a great idea, fantastic idea, but people don't really implement it because there's a lot of theory around, but it's not clear how to start. Just stop estimating, and you'll get fired next day, right? So it doesn't work. So we have to really make sure that it's clear how to start. You go to a customer and say, we start with this and that, okay? And one more item, there's also resistance. So people don't like change. And this is a major implication in our life because it's very hard to introduce something new. And I realized that people hate revolutions. People hate revolutions because it's a risk, right? And I realized that if I really want to change something globally in the company, I never tell anyone about the large strategic plan, about the change. I try to sell very, very, very small first step. And I keep this revolution in my mind, in the head. I have this big picture where I want to lead the company. And that's how you can reduce resistance. Want to reduce resistance? Sell small items and small changes. Very important. And don't be jerk. Because if you go to your customer and tell, hey, my boss doesn't let me to do this, but I'm this brilliant guy, I know how to do it right, and team don't write tests, I write it. Well, this is called the political suicide for the whole project, right? And I saw many companies, actually in my country, who just got canceled because of this attitude. Because I, as a businessman, I don't really want to build something strategically important for my company with a team with internal conflicts, right? Which don't really trust each other. That sucks, right? It doesn't really work. That's the worst strategy that you can ever apply. And remember one thing about finger pointing. This is fantastic. So, think about it. If you point a finger on someone, so I'm pointing a finger on you. So how many fingers are staring back at me? 3. So at least 3, right? So basically, remember one important thing. If you point a finger to someone, 3 fingers are staring back at you, always, right? So it doesn't really work well. So, what Jonah did? Jonah followed the advice. He started going to a central marketplace and sell his ideas directly to the customer. He was doing test-driven development and some engineering practices because he thinks that is right, not because his team is not doing it. And it was a natural course of introducing practices in the company. So instead of screaming and run, hey guys, let's do TDD, let's do refactoring, whatever, start doing it. Show by example how good you are, what results you can achieve, and people will come to you and ask, how do you do it? That's how it should be, really. That's how it should be. This is a natural course of bringing things to the company. At the same time, top management invited QA manager for a serious discussion. The problem is that Jonah's team is not going very well. When Jonah's team says that something is done, it always leads to rollback. Something is wrong all the time. So top management asks, hey, QA manager, what's wrong with your team? Well, yeah, everyone is wrong, but Johnny is not like everyone else. He goes, when Johnny says that something is done, it is actually done. And there's no rollbacks. So, and now customer asks Johnny to build the most important functionality for this project. Okay. At the same time, another discussion happens. Customer prices Johnny in front of top management. You know, we have never heard that many ideas from Milton. Now Johnny contributes to the ideas, and we haven't ever heard that much. And you know, this idea about continuous delivery actually correlates with our vision, and we want this new deployment pipeline to be built by Johnny, and it will be 1 billion project, unicorn, right? Fantastic. So next day, top management invites Milton for a discussion and asks, Milton, is Johnny happy? Milton, is Johnny happy? So basically, by doing something that Johnny thought is right and selling directly to the customer, Johnny became VIP, basically exception to the rule. Sort of he get this armor, the protection against the bullshit that happens in the company. And this, it makes total sense because managers, customers, they never want to lose someone who either bringing money to the company, will potentially bring money to the company, or has good relationship with customers, obviously. And this is what I call CBI, corporate bullshit immunity. So basically, the more you bring to the company, the more money you bring, the more value you bring, the higher is your CBI. And think about it now. The more you take from the inside, think salary, benefits that you ask for, the lower is your CBI, right? So think how to add from the outside. Think how to increase the value that you bring to the company, because it just makes sense for you personally. Milton invites Johnny. You know, Johnny, okay, man, I'll give you 50% salary rise. Milton, but you have just said that we don't have a budget. Well, forget budget. Let's leave the budget constraints to the rest of the team. And Johnny says, you know, Milton, not this time. Besides salary rise, you'll have to buy everyone new MacBook because our workstation suck. And together with his team, Johnny celebrates success by smashing all desktop computers with baseball bats like this. Great success. Johnny is doing great. End of the story. What do you think? Of course not. That was just the beginning. Let's move on. Johnny goes to meet his girlfriend, Katie. Katie works as a QA engineer at a company called Второклассники.ru. It's a social network. Второклассники.ru. And Johnny says, you know, Katie, next day, tomorrow, I will go to Milton and ask him to make me a full-stack senior Java developer. Katie says, yeah, you can do it, definitely. Johnny goes to Milton again and says, here I am, the best guy, right? So I contribute to customer value, I'll talk to customer, I have good connections. Hey, time to be a senior, right? Full stack, with a stack full, right? And Milton goes, you know, Johnny, you're a good boy. You're doing a great job. There's one tiny problem with you. You received a lot of negative feedback during annual performance review from your peers, from your team. Johnny goes, what the fuck? How can it happen? I'm the most advanced technical guy, but for some reason I get a lot of negative feedback. And Milton goes, you know, Johnny, in fact, your results are the worst among the team members. What the heck? How is possible? Johnny drives back home unsatisfied. How it's possible the best technical guy in the team has the worst feedback from peers? He goes to his girlfriend, Katie. Katie says, I knew that you will never be a full-stack senior Java developer. Take your belongings and leave. I don't love you anymore. I knew that. You're a loser. So Johnny goes to Lawrence. Johnny, you don't understand one thing. You're a very good guy. You're very successful. But success has a major side effect. Success is a bitch. The more successful you become, the more others think about you as a jerk and mushroom. Think about it. Because people are extremely egocentric by nature. They are envious and jealous. And this is very important. So, why people should really support you? Why they should really vote for you? What it is for them in your success? Have you ever thought about it? What is for others in your success? Oh, I'm the best guy, I obviously should have better results. Kind of yes, but not in the real world, because you never win a war with a one-man army. You really need a sort of fan club, like a set of people who are really eager to support you. And the only way to find supporters and backers is about thinking about others' stake in your success. What it is for others in your success. So make others' egocentric nature work for you. And here's an example. I'm afraid of talking about politics here in Ukraine. But in my country, if you go to government election, so the question comes, how do you choose the person whom to vote for? Well, because he has handsome jacket? Not really. Let's say some politician promises to build a kindergarten. And you have children, young children who will go to kindergarten in the nearest future. Probably you will vote for this politician because there is a value for you. Maybe it will not happen, but there is a value for you. Or if some other politician promises to decrease the tax rate for business, and you are an entrepreneur or businessman, probably you will vote for this guy because you think about your stake. You think what it is for you in your success. If you go to a Facebook, I don't know which social network do you use. I love following people's opinion when they discuss some political stuff. And what I usually see, oh, this politician steals a lot. He steals everything from us, regular people. And at the same time, there's another politician who steals even more. But for some reason, people say, hey, yes, this guy steals a lot, but everyone is stealing. What's the difference? Right? Here's the point. This is a very important point. Because someone gives some small stake back to the people, and they really feel it. Some small stake. You can steal a lot, but you have to really give something back. And this is important. And here's the question to you. Did Johnny do something during this story that made others interested in supporting him? MacBooks, exactly, MacBooks. Obviously, it was not enough, but this is the right direction. So, my friends, here's a fantastic takeaway. You succeed faster by helping people around succeed. This is a rule. This is a rule. It's not the idea. It's a rule. If you run screaming that how good you are, how cool you are, you're actually building a negative image because you're the only person who's saying how good you are. So instead of focusing on yourself, you focus on others, and it will make others focus back on you. Here's the paradox. Quite interesting stuff. Do you know how Google PageRank works? PageRank. Okay, so there's a basic, simple idea. If you want for your website to score highly in the Google research results, you need to care about your PageRank. And you get PageRank by getting backlinks. So the more websites link to your website, the higher is your PageRank. Right? Obviously. And as this website grow in authority, there is notion of authority in Google. As they grow in authority, the PageRank automatically propagates to you. And basically, the algorithm works the same in your career. If people are talking about you, your PageRank increases. And the higher is their rank, the higher is their authority, the higher is yours. Absolutely same algorithm. And now think about the counterexample. If you have fantastic website, great content, the best on the market, but no one refers to you, what is your PageRank? It's 0. No one cares because no one actually refers to you. You have a great content, but 0 authority. And your career works according to the same rules. So, my friends, we have to help peers achieve their career aspirations. And this is very important. I have a question to you. Do you know what your colleagues want to achieve, where they want to be? People that work in your team. Have you ever thought about it? What people in your team want to achieve? What they care about? What are their goals in your company? Have you ever thought about it? Probably no. And this is very important. What about your management? Do you know what is your manager's goal? Become rich, right? No, maybe that's the case. You can help as well, but we don't think about it enough. Do you know what your goals are? Hopefully, I think that you do. So this is very important because I really want you to come back to your work tomorrow or on Monday and really look at people around you, working with you in your team, and think, what are their aspirations, where they want to be, and start helping them because of your page rank. Because of your page rank. And we have to really do it in terms of mentorship. Many people talk about mentorship, all this stuff. But the fact is that you can't mentor everyone, right? So the question is, whom should you mentor? Juniors. You know why? Juniors. Don't care about seniors. They can do their own way, and they are quite happy anyway. Mentor juniors. Because in IT world, everyone grows so fast. A person who was junior 3 years ago probably will run a company now, right? Everyone's grown so fast. This is fantastic investment. Now, if you look at this junior who sort of, you have a task that you have to complete, and here's a junior asking for help. Always prefer helping this junior because it pays dividends. It works for me a lot because many juniors I spend time with now are my customers. They're now becoming my customers after 3-5 years, and I didn't know that at that time. So, oh my God, what should I help these guys? They're wasting my time. No, I did all my best to really help people, and now it starts paying off. Think about it. Because juniors are becoming your customers very soon. It happened in my life. One more point. When you succeed, it's team success. When you fail, it's your failure. This is very important. If you have an idea, tell everyone that it is team's idea, because everyone understands that it is yours anyway. Everyone knows that it is your idea anyway, so you already get this credit. But if you tell people that it's not your idea, you're getting double credit by actually supporting others. Got the point? So you have to praise your team. Hey, my team is doing a great job. Inside the team, people know that it was your achievement, so you got this credit anyway, okay? And you never can hide failure behind the team. So how can you fail? You fail, you wake up, okay guys, I have failed. That's my fault, it's not my team's fault. Next time, I will fail differently. Because I learned from my failure, and all my failures will be unique. That's how you sail. And it makes others look at you, and you're sort of becoming a leader. That's how leaders do. Think about it. So, Johnny was doing pair programming. He suggested reading brown bags, lean coffee sessions, hackathons, everything. And when he finished his task, he didn't scream, I finished my tasks, I'm a first. No, he shut up and helped others to complete their work first. There was a meeting with Johnny, with the top management. Johnny, you're a great guy, you're doing a great job. Your team is now the most successful in the company after 2 years of your active work. We want you to build more teams like this. Now you are chief software architect, the most senior guy in the company. Please scale your success, share your knowledge, build more team like that because our customers are so happy. Johnny goes back to his girlfriend. Chief software architect, really? I always knew you can do it, Johnny. Oh my God, my boyfriend's the chief software architect. He's so sexy. So you probably know what happened next. Success. But is it really the end of the story? No, of course no. I'll probably steal a few more minutes of your time if you don't argue. So, Johnny was chief software architect for a few years. He didn't code. He didn't write a line of code for a few years. And he was doing mostly paperwork, managerial stuff, coordination, discussion. That's what usually happens with us developers when we are promoted to management, right? And he became led by technologies that were selected by his customers. He forgot who he is. and he forgot that he's a software developer, and he forgot what his craft is. And once he was sent to the interview to acquire new customer to the company, and he failed drastically. Regular Java dev at the interview asked him simple questions. How would you do this microservice? How would you build this? And mostly, he knew about WebSphere, EGB, WebLogic, and some legacy shit that no one uses nowadays. So, and he's a chief software architect in the company. So developer kicked his butt. And I want to give you a very important message. It doesn't really matter how senior in the company you are, because it's a local measure. It's completely local measure. Companies will promote you, so you stayed with the company. They will pay you money, so you stayed with the company. And the shittiest technologies there are in the company, the more they will pay you. I've been working in London for some time. I know what I'm talking about. That's how it is. Because they want you to stay. And never let any company drive your career, really. This is very important. Every day when you wake up, every morning when you wake up, you ask yourself, does the career, that the goal you pursue, go hand in hand with the jobs that you have now? Is it really in sync? And if it's not, you probably have to do something. Because I interview a lot of senior people for my company, for other companies, and I usually interview CTOs, best guys in the team, and they don't know how to answer even simplest questions. And this might sound very funny, but it's tragic. It's tragic because these people, they never can get back. When you are there, you can find yourself abandoned, completely disconnected from the industry, and there is no way back. So never let any company drive your career. And you have to validate your seniority against the rest of the industry. I want to give you a practical example. I attend interviews once in a quarter. I have an auto-generated Trello task in my task board. Edward, attend interview. I go to Microsoft, I go to Google, I go to ThoughtWorks, I go to many different companies, and I never tell them that I don't need this job. They never know. You never know, guys. So basically, and I do it because I want to understand where I am on the global market, how good I am, and where are these things that I suck at? What can I improve? Do it, really. And I also do free consulting. I do free consulting because I want to understand what problems companies have. Because if I see that this company has a trouble, I see that another company has a trouble, maybe there is another company who has the same problem, and I can make money. But you have to start doing it for free because you want to get in at first, right? Think about it. Very, very important stuff, especially if you pursue this consulting career. So I'm not going to tell about pet projects a lot, but the point of pet projects is sort of bullshit. Because for me, it doesn't motivate me to build something just in the sake of practice. I want to really get value out of a pet project. And what I really do, I look at inefficiencies in my workflow. So let's say I pay for many invoices every day. And I realize, well, maybe I can automate my own life. Maybe I can really build a system that can pay for invoices automatically. So I built a mobile app that solves my problem. And one day, I realized that, well, many people have the same problem. And I started selling this application. And basically now this application brings me the passive income so I don't have to go to work, which is nice. And this is the right mindset, sort of. You really have to start solving your problems. And if you have these problems, it probably makes sense for others as well. I know, yeah, I'm wrapping up very soon. So, my friends, I believe that, you might not agree, but I believe that the only measure of seniority is your freedom. It doesn't matter whether you are lead Java developer, senior Java developer, chief software architect, whatever. Who fucking cares? No one cares. Freedom is what matters. Because freedom lets you decide what to do, where to do, for what money, when, and maybe you don't want to do something at all in this particular area. Everything else is actually secondary, really. So stop complaining about other people having more senior titles than you have. Oh, this guy knows less than I, but he has a senior title. Who cares? Who cares? Think about the freedom, right? Because freedom lets you choose whatever title you want. And I don't know where Jonah is now. I haven't met him in person, but I'm pretty sure that after lessons he learned, he's in a kind of good shape. And I really want to wrap up this talk with a fantastic quote that really makes me move when I feel that there's a barrier, the wall I have to break. I have this quote printed and sticked in my desktop. So here it is. Do whatever you feel in your heart to be right. You'll be criticized anyway. You'll be damned if you do, and damned if you don't. So, my friends, I wish you successful careers. I hope that you learned something from this, and thank you.